Just tell me when we're live again.
And it's underway, so away you go, Richard.
Well, we're not live yet.
Yep, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
The rundown.
Okay. So, race 1 is underway. Lane 1, which is closest to the Anzac Bridge, is William Tarrant from Glebe. Lane 2 is Jeremy Cooper, coached by Isaac Shepherd from Leichhardt. Lane 3 from Glebe is Connor Walker. Lane 4 is Luca Wilson, coached by Isaac Shepherd from Leichhardt. And lane 5 is James Walker from Glebe.
They've gone right off the course. So
They've gone, unfortunately, they've gone right off course, but that's okay. I'm sure they'll...
Lane 1 is the far side, Richard.
Yes, lane 1 is the far side, closest to Anzac Bridge. And a little bit hard to tell from this angle who's coming first at the moment, but Leichhardt, looks to be Leichhardt at the moment coming first. Luca Wilson looks to be coming first at this stage, but
Is it Connor? Who's that in the red shirt?
is that William?
Yeah, that's Glebe. Oh, that's Will.
Will Tarrant?
Yep.
So Will Tarrant looks to have taken the lead
So
now
we're
from
going
Glebe,
sidebar.
followed by Leichhardt, Jeremy Cooper, and Leichhardt, Luca Wilson. Coming up to the finish line now, William Tarrant is continuing to drive hard towards the finish. And there he goes across the line now. Leichhardt second, Leichhardt third. Followed by Glebe and Glebe. So that's the end of the first race, the men's under 16 single scull.
So it was Will Tarrant. We don't know which Leichhardt person. it
Yeah.
was. But can you see the numbers, Richard?
No.
Oh, okay. So and they're different colours. So
Yeah, I
lane
can-
5 is, so you can't read it. So one is always
Women's race 2, is that Division 2?
Yep, Division 2.
I know that when that sort of thing.
Second race about to get underway is the men's under 16 scull Division 2. These races are all held over 500 metres on this slightly shortened Glebe course, partly shortened because of the building of the the fish markets, which you can see to your right. 500 metres, so in lane 1 we have Leichhardt, William Spooge, coached by Isaac Shepherd. Lane 2 is Glebe, Jay Dwight. Lane 3 is Massimo Fitzsimon, coached by Isaac Shepherd from Leichhardt. And lane 4 is Nick Byrne from Glebe. Race is underway, and just a reminder that lane 1 is on the far side, closest to Anzac Bridge. Lanes 1 and 2 look like they might be headed for a collision if they're not careful, but lanes 3 and 4 look to be holding a good course. Looks like Jay Dwight and Massimo Fitzsimon look to be towards the front. Looks like Glebe is in front at the moment. That's Jay Dwight in lane 2. So a reminder that this is the men's under 16 single scull. Jay Dwight from Glebe in front at this stage. Appears to be maintaining about 3/4 of a length lead over Leichhardt. Coming up to the finish now. Jay Dwight across the line first in lane 2. William Spooge in lane 1. And then lane 4, Nick Byrne, followed by Massimo Fitzsimon from Leichhardt. Well done, boys. We now have a short break up until 9:20 when we have race 3, which will be the women's intermediate coxed 4. That will be commencing at 9:20. We have 2 competitors, both from Glebe. We'll take a short break, and as we get closer to that time frame, we'll get back to you.
So in the next race, the women's intermediate coxed 4, there'll be 2 crews from Glebe. Glebe 1 being coxed there by Ms. Moore, and Glebe 2 by Ms. Rains-Greenow.
Morning all. Beautiful day here at Glebe. My name's Shri, a homegrown rower from the Glebe Rowing Club. Next up, the race is the Women's Intermediate Cox 4, 500 meters. We've got two squads. Lane 1 is Glebe, and the second lane is Glebe as well. We'll be reporting more to you about the race updates. Stay tuned. Okay, we're about to kick off the race. Again, this is the Women's Intermediate Cox 4, sponsored by Viva Energy Australia. Okay, the teams are getting into position, waiting for the referee to hit the start. Stay tuned. Okay, both crews coming into position right now. One minute more and they are off. Like any other race, it's a bit of a balancing act just before the race, getting in line. That's what the crews are doing. And are they off? Yes, they are off. Both crews pushing along to the finishing line. Both crews are head to head right now, coming towards the finishing line. I'm sure all that the cox is saying, push, 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 like what the cock is supposed to do. Coming in closer to the finish line. Stay tuned. Both crews still cruising together to the finishing line. I believe we have lane 1, which is the Glebe Rowing Club. We've got Stella, Giselle, Stella, Lucy, Eloise, and more as the cocks are in the winning position. And then we've got lane 2, which is close and giving lane 1 a good run for their money. There you go. We got lane 1 coming up. And there they go. All that they can hear is push. And we've got a lovely President Mark screaming behind us and cheering for everyone. There you go. That's the finishing line. We've got the winner. We've got lane 1 Glebe. That is Stella, Giselle, Stella, Lucy, Eloise, and coxed by Moore. Well done, ladies. Well done. We'll soon be moving to the women's under 16 single scull, which starts at 9:30. Lane 1, we've got Glebe Lucy. Lane 2 is Glebe again, India. Lane 3, Glebe again, Jemima. Lane 4, we've got Glebe Adelaide. Lane 5 from Glebe, Ingus. And lane 6 from Glebe again, Zoe. Stay tuned, coming up shortly. Testing, testing. Good morning, all. Okay, perfect. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We've got the women's under 16 single scull on the way. Scullers racing towards the finishing line. Six racers, all of them from Glebe. It's going to be a close finish.
Looks like lane 5. You got your list there?
Yes, lane 5 is Ingus, who is in the lead. I'm being helped by our very own President Mark, who's assisting me today. Who claims he knows nothing, but knows more than at least I do. Who's number 2, Mark? We've got lane 5 leading. I'm just being told they don't have lane numbers, which is absolutely fine. We'll find out who's coming in number 2. So lane 5, led by Ingus, continues to lead. She's gonna be finishing very soon. We should hear the buzzer coming up shortly. There you go, lane 5. Well done, Ingus. That's the second buzzer as well. Who's that? Adelaide is come number 2. We should have the results up shortly. That was the women's under 16 single scull. Coming up next at 9:40, we've got race number 5, men's open pair. We've got who's racing? We've got Glebe in lane 1 by Kenneth Perry and coached by Kenneth. Look forward to seeing this one. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. From the last race, we've got the results. Number 1 was Glebe, was lane 5. Lane 5 was Ingus. Well done. Number 2 was Adelaide. Number 3 was India. Well done to all the racers. Morning again. Coming in shortly is the men's open pair, and that's going to kick off in the next 9 minutes. You know, we can't ask for a better day like today. The weather's perfect, the sun's up, no clouds. So far, someone says from the back, thank you, sir. The water's absolutely perfect. Let's see how the day progresses. Fingers crossed. I'm praying to the weather gods all the time. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up shortly is the men's open pair, sponsored by Viva Energy Australia. We've got Kenneth Major, Parry, and they're coached by Kenneth, both from our very own Glebe Rowing Club. Stay tuned, coming up shortly. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all the race officials that are here today, supporting the JB Sharp series here at the Glebe Rowing Club. I've got a lovely gentleman next to me who is helping me on the technical side, and your name is? Liam James. Liam James is doing a fantastic job. Thank you, sir. And he's keeping me going on my first commentating for a regatta. I wish I could be on the water, but I prefer commentating, to be honest. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Next coming up, men's open pair, 9:40. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 9:36, race number 5 coming up shortly. We've got the men's open pair. Rowers are from our very own Glebe. We've got Kenneth Major and Parry, coached by Kenneth. The officials are lining up at the finishing line, or at the start line, I beg your pardon, and we've also got the rowers lining up. Stay tuned for updates. We are 3 minutes away from race number 5, men's open pair, sponsored by Viva Energy Australia. Okay, 9:39, and race number 5 is off. We've got Kenneth Major and Parry, coached by Kenneth. Here they come, chugging along, pushing along to the finish line. I know both the racers or the rowers, superb rowers, and it's great to see them in the water. Waiting for them to come through to the finishing line. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. I've rowed with Parry a few times, and all that he says is push, push, push. I'm guessing that's what he's telling Kenneth right now. Not rowed with Kenneth, so not sure what Kenneth would be telling Parry. And here they come, ladies and gentlemen, towards the finishing line. Come on, Kenneth. Come on, Parry. I'm going to tell both of you all, push. Push harder. We're all waiting for you at the finishing line. And I've got the referee next to me. He's going to be hitting the button soon. And we'll hear the sound. Come on, Parry. Come on, Kenneth. Push, push, and push. Legs. That's what our coach Nick would say. Legs. Legs on. Legs on. And keep pushing. O's off the water. There they come, ladies and gents, towards the finishing line very soon. Well done, Parry and Kenneth. Well done. Good job. Thank you. That was race number 5. Race number 6 is up next in the next 9 minutes. We've got a para double scull, which is James Johnson and Christopher James from the Community Rowing Club, coming up at 9:50. Again, it's sponsored by the one and only Viva Energy Australia. Race number 6 coming up shortly.
So I'm just setting up a credit card facility for them to use. There you go, there's the result. So you've just reminded me I should do that now.
Folks, the results are up on your screen from race number 5, which was 1 minute 47 seconds. Well done to Parry and Kenneth. Race number 5. Race number 6 coming up shortly at 9:50 a.m. It's the para double scull. It's the team from the Community Rowing Club, James Johnson and Christopher James. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, race number 6 has already started. We've got James Johnson and Christopher James. It's the Para Double Skull, sponsored by the one and only Viva Energy Australia. There you go. You've got the referees telling the rowers to stay on course, which is always a hard thing when you're racing, but it's an important thing. Last thing you want to do is crash in a race. But you got the lovely referees guiding both the rowers. We've got James Johnson and Christopher James. They're both rowing towards the finish line. There you go. Oh, unfortunately, have they had a breakage? I believe, ladies and gentlemen, this crew has unfortunately had a breakage or some sort of technical malfunction on their boat. So you only have one rower who's able to row, and they're bringing the boat back. This is race number 6, the Para Double Skull, due to a technical malfunction. So they're just coming back to the finishing line, guided by the referees. That's okay. Things happen in a race. Technical malfunctions are part of it. As long as they finish, as someone says, that's true. As long as they finish, and both the rowers are coming back. The bow is obviously giving the motivation to the stroke to keep going. Finishing line coming up. Well done, gents. Well done. Good on you for rowing back to the finishing line. Well done. This is race number 6, Para Double Skull. Well done. Thank you. Good job. Good job. Well done, bow, for providing the motivation to the stroke. Thank you, referees, for bringing us home. Next race coming up at 10 a.m. is the Women's Novice Quad Scull, sponsored by the one and only Viva Energy Australia. That's race number 7. And we've got about 4 crews who are going to be racing. We've got Abbotsford, Ashcam 1, Glebe, and Ashcam 2. The race for the last, the timing for the last race, beg your pardon, is 2:46.53. Well done to James Johnson and Christopher James. Race 7 coming up, Women's Novice Quad Scull, sponsored by, everyone knows the answer, Viva Energy Australia. They've sponsored the whole regatta, my good friend Liam tells me. Thank you, Liam. And I will keep calling them out this entire morning. Next race coming up, race number 7. Folks, I've been told Viva Energy Australia, the sponsor of the series, also owns the Shell petrol pumps at Annandale and Ultimo. So if you, as part of their network, so if you do want to support them, make sure you go to these 2 petrol stations and top your car up with fuel. That way you're supporting Viva Energy Australia. Coming up next is race number 7. Women's Novice Quad Scull. 500 meters, you've got lane 1 Abbotsford, lane 2 Ashcam, lane 3 Glebe, lane 4 Ashcam 2. We're just trying to find out where the rowers are. Keep you posted with updates. Thank you. Okay, folks, the race is about to kick off. We've got apologies. 8 minutes more. We've got the women's novice court skull, race number 7, lane 1, Abbotsford, lane 2, Ashcam 1, lane 3, Glebe, and lane 4, Ashcam 2. Coming up for you shortly, race number 7, women's novice court skull. Stay tuned. Come through. Folks, we've got a couple of minutes before the race starts, and we've got a lovely gentleman. Oh, okay, thank you, Liam. The race has actually started. Race number 7 is underway. Women's novice court skull. We've got lane 1 Abbotsford, lane 2 Ashcam, lane 3 Glebe, lane 4 Ashcam 2. I do have a gentleman here from Ashcombe who's going to tell us a bit about the crews as they row towards the finishing line. Your name, sir, is? Mitchell. Thank you, Mitchell. There you go.
Hello there. This is quite an exciting race. We've got 2 junior crews racing with us today. A crew filled with novice year 7, so it's their maybe 3rd or 4th race, which is quite exciting to see, and they're rowing quite well for their age, which is a credit to the coaching staff.
Well done. Thanks, Mitchell. Well done. We've got the crews coming towards the finishing line, and as usual, we've got the referee telling the crews to stay on course. And we've got, who's lane number 1? Abbotsford seems to be in the lead. As the rowers come closer to us, we'll be able to know. We've got a lot of cheerleaders here cheering for Ashcam, Abbotsford. Well done, ladies. Keep rowing. Push, push, and push. Well done. Number 1 is in the lead. Abbotsford is in the lead. Number 4, Ashcam 2, is coming up closely. Come on, Glebe. I'm always biased to Glebe. Come on, number 1 is coming close. Finishing sound goes. Oh, close. That was a close match. Number 1 was Abbotsford and number 2 was Ashkim 2. Mitch, thank you for giving us a bit of an insight. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the race number 7, Women's Novice Court Scull. Results and time should be up on your screen shortly. Well done to all the rowers. Well done. And thank you to the cheerleaders. Folks, there you go. You have it up on the screen. Number 1 is Abbotsford. In Abbotsford, we had the crew that was Mary, Victoria, Hugh, Braun. Coach was Charles. Well done. So they the winners of race number 7, Women's Novice Court Scull. The second crew that won was Ashcam 2, was Remy, Amelia, Caitlin, and Anouk. Well done to all the rowers. Up next at 10:10 is the men's novice single scull, race number 8. It is sponsored by the one and only Viva Energy Australia. Coming up, race number 8, men's novice single scull at 10:10. Be back with you shortly. The rowers are going up to the finishing line. The referee is lining up as well. More updates to follow. Welcome back, folks. The next race starting is race number 8, men's novice single scull. Lane 1, we've got Glebe Benjamin. Lane 2, Glebe Sebastian. Lane 3, Glebe Arlo. Lane 4, Glebe Dylan. Lane 5, Glebe William. Glebe's taking over this race, folks, which is going to be an interesting one. This is race number 8, men's novice single scull, sponsored by Viva Energy Australia. Rows are taking, are lining up, and the race should be underway shortly. More updates to follow. This is men's novice single scull race number 8. Starting. Okay, race number 8 has begun, folks. This is the men's novice single scull. Lane number 1, you've got Benjamin from Glebe. Lane number 2, Sebastian from Glebe. Lane number 3, Arlo from Glebe. Lane number 4, Dylan from Glebe. And lane number 5, William from Glebe. There you go. The rowers are rushing to the finishing line. I'm just trying to understand who is in the lead. I believe it is Benjamin in the lead. We're just trying to get a bit more of footage and understanding. We've got lane number 1, Benjamin, who I believe is in the lead. There they come, racing towards the finishing line. We'll get a bit more of an understanding on who is in the lead, but I believe it would be the rower in lane number 1, Benjamin. Okay, folks, lane number 4, Dylan. Dylan is in the lead. Lane number 5 coming up very closely and taking over. Lane number 5 is William. So it's a tough match between William and Dylan. And William's taken over. Well done, William. That's number 1. Lane number 4, Dylan is in 2. And there you go, folks. That's race number 8, men's novice single scull. The winner is Dylan from Glebe in lane 4, followed by William in lane 5. We're waiting for the official results, but unofficial results are Dylan in 1 and William in number 2. We should have the results shortly up on the screen. Stay tuned. That was race number 8, men's novice single scull. Folks, I'm going to hand it over to Richard. I'm going to go try the lovely Bobby that's up at the Glebe Rowing Club. So over to you, Richard.
Women's open quad. So we have the official results now for the men's novice single scull. First was wait for a moment. Slight technical hitch.
Oh, there you go, the results right now.
Okay, so in first place from Glebe we have W. Turner in a time of 1:41.5. Second place was D. Watson from Glebe, 1:47. Third place was S. Koskar from Glebe, 1:50.78. Fourth was B. Byrne from Glebe in 1:52.22. And fifth was A. Pollock from Glebe, 1:59.2. So the next race is at 10:30, the women's open quad scull. We have 4 crews from Glebe. Good morning again. Welcome back to the JB Sharp event held on Blackwattle Bay in Glebe. Our next race is at 10:30, the Women's Open Quad Scull, sponsored by Viva Energy. And as a reminder, our second sponsor is Lursen Australia. I'm very grateful for the sponsorship that they provide for the JB Sharp series this year. In lane one, all four crews in this race are from Glebe. In lane one, we have Rachel McEwen.
There you go. If you guys would like, we have a school mascot on the camera right now.
Who's on camera? Oh, the school mascot for Askham. There we go, on camera. The live streaming is available on the Rowing New South Wales website. And the Askham mascot's just been on. Thank you very much. Beautiful. Anyway, I'll get back to matters slightly more serious. So in lane one from Glebe, we have Rachel McEwen, Camille Morrison, Catherine Maxwell, and Mika Kelly. Lane two, we have Charlotte Dowd, Heather Doig, Mary Flanagan, and Katie Elias. Again, all these clubs are from Glebe. Lane three, we have Holly Stanbury, Josie Lehman, Isla Eade, and India Lloyd. In lane four, we have Ella Jones, Kate Wareham, Camille Morrison. She appears to be racing in two races. She's very clever. And Sarah Jones. I might just check that. Not quite sure. There must be someone replacing Camille in one of those crews. You can't race in two crews, obviously. So that's at 10:30. Just give you a little bit of background on the JB Sharp series. As you're probably aware, this is the centenary of the JB Sharp series. JB Sharp became involved with the Balmain Rowing Club in 1920. That was a time when rowing club memberships were depleted following the devastation of World War I, and clubs were gradually trying to work towards rebuilding the sport in Sydney. The late JB Sharp gradually became more involved in rowing and presented the Bay clubs, the clubs in the Iron Cove Bay, with a magnificent perpetual trophy, which was first raced for and won by Balmain Rowing Club in 1924. So JB Sharp inaugurated the JB Sharp Cup and donated the princely sum of £75 towards that, thinking that the race would probably only go on for a number of years, but it continues today, and the Sharp family continues to be involved in the JB Sharp series, held every year at the start of the race season in New South Wales rowing. It's very important for encouraging novice races. You'll notice there have been a number of novice crews racing today, and it's an important part of rowing to encourage the younger members, teenagers, to join the sport of rowing, get involved, and hopefully become part of a club, if not just with their school. Glebe has been encouraging students who don't attend schools that have a rowing program. So we have a number of schools in the local area whose children attend Glebe Rowing Club. So it's a great way for them to get involved and understand the benefits and the joy of being part of a rowing crew. So the Women's Open Quad Scull starts in 3 minutes down by Anzac Bridge, which was opened in 1999. 1995, I should say, 3rd of December. Just a few facts and figures some of you may not be aware, but it's one of the longest concrete cable-stayed span bridges in the world. Total length of all the stay cables is 5 kilometres, and if you put all the stay cables end to end, they would stretch for 810 kilometres, or the equivalent of Centrepoint Tower to Tweed Heads. There you go. Just waiting for the crews to line up. Perfect conditions for rowing today. The wind's dropped right off. You can see as a local rower, we often look at the flags on top of the towers on Anzac Bridge. They're virtually limp today, so we've virtually got no wind, which is just perfect conditions for rowing. So the crews in the women's open quad scull are lining up, being supervised by the boat race officials, the bros as we like to call them. Rowing survives a lot on the efforts of the volunteers. So we're always grateful for the boat race officials who help out at these events every year. Crews getting ready. Again, a reminder that lane 1 is on the far side, closest to Anzac Bridge, and lane 4 closest to the side of Glebe Rowing Club. So there are meant to be 4 crews, but at the moment I can only see 3. And they are racing. Looks like lanes 1 and 3 got off to a flying start. These crews do not have a cox, so they are reliant on the stroke seat and bow seat to provide direction. Stroke seat, of course, controls the rudder with their foot, and the boat race officials are following them, advising lane 2 they need to move towards away from the Anzac Bridge. They've crossed over in front of lane 1. Lane 1 is a scratching. We only have, I've been told, lanes 2, 3 and 4 are racing. So on that basis, it looks like lanes 3 and 4 are leading. It's only a 500-metre course today. So lane 4 looks to be getting into a good rhythm and look to be in front at this stage. So in lane 4 we have Ella Jones, Kate Wareham, Camille Morrison and Sarah Jones. So lane 4 definitely well in front at this stage. Should take out the race easily. Got a nice rhythm going. Lane 4, yep. Lane 4 crosses the line first. These are unofficial placings, of course. Then lane 3 crossing the line. And lane 2 running into the buoy. Fortunately, it's very forgiving, but they need to keep rowing if they want to cross the line. Away they go. So Glebe crossing the line, first, second and third. Official times will be coming up shortly and we'll pass those on. Next race will be at 10:40. That's the women's handicap single scull, where we have 8 crews racing. Always interesting when you get 8 crews racing side by side in Blackwattle Bay. Should be very eventful. So that's at 10:40, the women's handicap single scull.
Next, we have the women's handicap single scull. Got a few crews in the next race. Just waiting to see who have shown up. In the running, we have from Glebe, Emily Barrett. Abbotsford, we've got Yoni Konkek. Leichhardt, we've got Grace Connery. Another Glebe member, Stella Moore. Sydney University, we've got Lucy McLean. Glebe, we've got Raquel Boza. Sydney Uni, Kiara Beasley. And Leichhardt, Malia Zulfikwa. Now we've got them just lining up now. Just a couple of minutes now until the start. I can see 7 crews out of the 8. Looks like 8 is coming up now, so a full race. And they've started. So we've got Leichhardt off go. Melia Zulfika. And looks like everyone's started now. In the lead, looks like we've got Sydney University coming in strong with Glebe running up the side of them. Very tight race. It's going to be tricky to stay on course for this one. Looks like Sydney University are neck and neck. I can see Sydney Uni picking up the rate. Yeah, bringing it home. So there's what looks like we might have a 1-2 from Sydney Uni. They're both rating 2 quite different rates. You can see second place is bringing it up. It's going to be a quite tight finish. Leichhardt coming in third, looking strong, really nice and long. Just haven't quite heard the bell yet. There we go. And then we've got 2 Glebes coming in. Also, both just over the line. And another strong finish from Glebe. Yeah, very tight finish between 2 Sydney University boats. So first place was Sydney University. We had Lucy McLean at a time of 1:48. Really quick time there. Second place, we had another Sydney University, Kiara Beasley, time of 1:48.92. So that's a 0.23 seconds between those two. So very, very tight. Next we had Leichhardt. That was Maliha Zule Kwa with a time of 1:59. So it was a 10-second difference between first place, followed by Leichhardt, Glebe, and Abbotsford. So it's a really good amount of women showing up for that race, and nice to see everyone nice and competitive for that one. Next is the men's handicap single scull. So we've got 14 competitors in that race across the board. From Drummoyne, Glebe, Leichhardt, Sydney Uni, Macquarie Uni, UTS, and Community.
So the next race on in the JB Sharp series at Glebe today is the men's handicap single scull. Race 11, starting at 10:50 over 500 metres. So, yes, we have about 14 competitors in theory today. Always makes it interesting. Great practice for the rowers to learn how to navigate the course and stay clear of each other. Keep a nice straight course. So, starting from the Anzac Bridge side of the course, we have Christopher James of 20 seconds, Nicholas Brown of 15 seconds, Luke Martin from Glebe of 15 seconds, Dylan Lee from Leichhardt on 15 seconds, and Christopher Vlahos from Glebe on 15 seconds. Of 10 seconds, we have Remy Wilson from Leichhardt, Oliver Klotz from Sydney University, and Robert Dallymore of 10 seconds. Of 5, that's a bit of a surprise to see Rob of 10 seconds. I thought he'd be off Globe. Jasper Richards from Leichhardt of 5 seconds, Josh Dallymore of 5 seconds from Glebe, Sam Greenwood from Glebe of 5 seconds, James Walker on Go, Kaya Nevitt of Go from Macquarie University, and Peter Waldersee of 25 seconds from UTS. They are racing. A lot of names to get through. Yes, Rob Dallymore and Josh Dallymore, of course, father-son combination. No doubt there'll be some intense rivalry between those two racing up the course.
Whoever that is out in the middle is really powering through. It's like up bloke up there.
That'd be closest to us.
Oh, look at this bloke cutting through.
Yeah.
Come on, Richard, tell us what's going on.
Well, I can see a lot of races, but it's because there are so many of them, it's hard to tell who is what.
So it's the Glebe row closest to us.
Glebe, is it Glebe closest to us?
Is it Glebe?
Or is that or UTS or Macquarie?
It's Sydney Uni out in the
Sydney
middle.
Uni out in front at the moment. That'd be Oliver Klotz.
Lane 2, who's that? It's at Ollie.
Ollie from Sydney
Ollie
University,
Klotz.
lane 2. Lane 6, James Walker. Very close for first and second. Third and fourth crossing the line.
Josh, oh no, Leichhardt.
We'll try to get you the official results shortly. Very confusing when there are so many races. Not all of them having bow numbers makes it even more confusing. But I'm sure the boat race officials are all on top of that.
Well done.
See Ollie come through.
We will get those official results to you as soon as we can when we work out who came across the line first, second and third. The next race is the Men's Open Quad Scull, again sponsored by Viva Energy Australia. Again, we are grateful for the sponsorship that they've provided, along with Lurson's Australia. So the Men's Open Quad Scull starts at 11 o'clock. We have Glebe in lane 1, Sam Greenwood, Nick Byrne, Luke Martin and Ken Major. Should be a very quick quad. Leichhardt, we have William Spuge. Apologise for the pronunciation. Massimo Fitzsimon, Luca Wilson and Jeremy Cooper, coached by Isaac Shepherd. And in lane 3 from Glebe again, we have Dylan Watson, William Turner, Connor Walker and Jay Dwight. Again, we'll give you the official results from the previous race. The men's handicap single scull as soon as they come to hand.